Hello everyone, and welcome to my CBS Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Will's secret health problem, Grace's hope for salvation? According to previews on The Bold and the Beautiful, Will Spencer has been fighting a lot lately. Will even acknowledged that he had no idea what was wrong with him. Could that be a sign of an underlying illness? Maybe one that makes Grace Buckingham's redemption possible? Discover what will happen next in the CBS soap opera by continuing to read. Let's begin by discussing Will's recent experiences. In both his personal and business life, the man has been quite active. First of all, Will has been fighting a lot, particularly with Joshua Morrow's character R.J. Forrester. Will seemed to become more aggressive and uncontrollable with every encounter. Will even acknowledge to Katie Logan Spencer that he has no idea why he is so uncontrollable. In a typical situation, Katie would be more aware of her son's mental health. Rather, she is concentrating on developing her brand. In any event, is Will experiencing these outbursts due to a medical condition? Nor are they merely outbursts. We've witnessed Will spiral out of control and need to be forcefully removed from RJ. Therefore, the abrupt increase in intensity is more significant than a few altercations or blows. It shows a lack of authority. Electra Forrester would typically be present to closely monitor Will. She no longer resides in the seaside house, though. Although Electra still adores Will, she is struggling with his recent choices. Will may have more enigmatic symptoms as Electra grows farther away. I could see Will keeping his symptoms to himself because Katie and Bill Spencer were so preoccupied with business. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Will's behavior is altering to the point where even he is perplexed. That is a serious red flag that should not be disregarded. What are the odds that Will develop a brain tumor? If one of Bill Spencer's sons developed a brain tumor, that would be ironic. Grace tricked everyone into believing that Liam Spencer's tumor was real. How likely is it that Bill will call Grace again? Will she be able to save Will's life by performing a miracle? How will Liam be impacted even if she does? Liam might have been concerned about his own brother's future just by looking at Grace and learning about her actions. Dylan's audacious move, Will's guilt, Electra torn, and Daphne's devastating blow. As Will struggles with remorse, Electra faces an emotional crossroads, and Daphne's future is upended. Heartbreak, lingering emotions, and startling decisions take center stage. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful hint that Steffi Forrester Finnegan intervenes to console and support Daphne Rose Walton as she tries to comprehend the heartbreaking medical news that she won't be able to conceive. According to B&B teasers, Carter Walton is getting ready to assist his wife and deal with the emotional impact. Will Spencer is overcome with sorrow about the secrets he held concerning Logan, the new jewelry line, and the HFTF diamond, and he can't stop thinking about Electra Forrester. Will's inner agony with Electra, whom he loves even more, will be visible from B&B views. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Electra finds it difficult to suppress her feelings because she truly loves Will despite warnings to avoid him. Another unforeseen turn may result from Electra's battle between her heart and Ridge Forrester's guidance. Melissa Dillon, in the meantime, is in love with Will, and her unexpected behavior leaves everyone wondering what actually transpired. Wood's already chaotic romantic life would undoubtedly be made more difficult by her audacious actions. Did she truly tell Will how much she loved him, or was it all a dream? Carter devastated, Daphne's truth, Eric's ultimatum, and Electra torn. There will be spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. We may anticipate Electra Forrester experiencing conflict in tomorrow's episode. Carter Walton learns of Daphne Rose Walton's medical appointment in the interim. Discover what will happen next in the CBS soap opera by continuing to read. First, let's talk about Eric and Ridge Forrester. Logan caused the fashion business to postpone the release of Eric's couture collection. Reporters were captivated by the rival fashion house, particularly by Hope Logan Spencer and Brooke Logan Forrester. The couture line was postponed by FC, but it appears to be back on track. Ridge and Eric will argue that it can divert Logan's attention. But it might also just increase the amount of media coverage. When Electra got home to Eric's place, she began to think about Will. He was, of course, also considering Electra. Will makes an effort to put things right once more despite their separation. Electra seemed to have the potential to collapse into his arms, yet they could be abruptly cut off. I'm not referring to Melissa Dillon or even R.J. Forrester. It looks like Eric could cut them off in their conversation. It is implied that Eric will make a harsh demand that will avoid his family. Electra is part of that. Will, though, didn't seem to be handling that well. Will might recognize that he needs to show himself to more people than just Electra, but I don't see him becoming violent at that particular moment. Will must now demonstrate his worth to Electra and her whole family. According to teasers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne Rose Walton is still in shock over the diagnosis. The woman was unaware that she was going through an early menopause. Daphne was too distressed to hear about their options, according to Lee Finnegan. Daphne appears to be certain that she is somehow failing Carter. Daphne will have to inform her husband that she is infertile because she cannot conceal this information from him. It is said that Daphne and Carter will have a very difficult chapter. Although they might not agree on what this means for their family going forward, I don't see Carter dumping Daphne over it. On Thursday, July 16, 2026, whose plot are you most excited to see? Post your opinions in the space provided for comments below. But in a single scene, Will could put an end to this. Sadly, we will never be able to witness it. Electra is furious that her boyfriend failed to inform her that Hope had left behind her family. She is also upset that Will didn't reveal that Bill and Katie had approved Shauna's jewelry line. How, therefore, can Will penetrate Electra's thick skull? By stating this. Look, baby, take a moment to picture yourself in my position. Imagine that Ridge and Eric had asked you to keep the events at Forrester a secret from me and everyone else. Could you tell me? Could you turn around and blab to me after looking Steffi in the eye and assuring her that Forrester's secrets were secure with you? If Electra is telling the truth, she would have to tell herself and Will that she wouldn't betray the Forresters by giving her boyfriend intelligence. It would compel her to realize that Will had no malevolent intent when he withheld information. He was maintaining his word to his parents and doing what he was told at work. Will could throw Electra's remarks in her face if he decided to take things a step further. She has often insisted that she should take precedence over his family. We would question Will, isn't that a two-way street? I should be more important to you than your jewelry brand, right? You're upset that Ridge decided to drop your line because Logan now has one. Ignore the peculiarity of that business strategy. Oh no, another jewelry line? So we have to cancel ours. There is no way you could have two, however, whether or not you were aware of Logan's jewelry line beforehand, it was going to happen. Despite my girlfriend's outburst, my dad was not going to revoke the approval. In the meantime, you are aware that I was in a difficult situation, and the most sympathy you can muster for me, the person you purport to love, is but what about me, Will? Could you be more self-centered? Furthermore, Will might say that Ridge and Steffi are the people Electra should be upset with. To put it mildly, Forrester's tactics are strange. Logan had a fashion show, so they postponed showcasing their couture collection. Return? Are they unfamiliar with Fashion Week? Without pressing the panic button, houses consistently display one after the other. What about putting Forrester's jewelry line on the shelves? Does Forrester believe Logan's jewelry collection is the only one available? Cajillions of them exist. It's not as though Forrester created the idea of necklaces. Furthermore, neither Will nor Logan, to be honest, cancelled Electra's line. Ridge did so since he seemed to believe that Forrester couldn't sell rings if anyone else could. Dylan moves on Will when Daphne receives heartbreaking news. Daphne is encouraged by Steffi at Forrester on her failure to conceive. Carter arrives with the intention of taking Daphne to a medical appointment. Daphne begs him to attend his meeting since she will be alright without him. Steffi offers to accompany her friend as he departs. When RJ visits Electra in the design office, he immediately disparages Will for deceiving her. Electra moved out, although she is unsure of the current situation. RJ feels relieved. Electra, who used to sock Luna, trembles at the thought of being in the presence of Will's aggression. RJ queries whether they are finished. It's clear to RJ that Elektra still has feelings for Will. Elektra acknowledges that his father informed her the Spencers and Forresters don't get along and was quite angry. RJ cosigns, emphasizing that Will has never prioritized her. Dylan strikes up a conversation with the waitress at Bikini Bar, who inquires as to why Elektra appeared sad earlier. Her life is ideal, and Will Spencer is her lover. Not anymore, Dylan responds. To get the gossip, the hostess pulls up a chair. The girl exhorts Dylan to take advantage of the chance to win the man she is infatuated with. The hostess threatens to pursue Will if Dylan doesn't. Because of her friendship with Elektra and her position at Forrester, Dylan needs to exercise caution. She is urged to follow her heart by the hostess. I can't let him go, Dylan acknowledges. Will shows up at that moment. Will appears to Dylan, obviously depressed, as the hostess flees. She claims to have spoken with Elektra and expressed regret that he is experiencing this once more. Dylan cares about Will and wants to know what's going on with him, but Will won't apologize for striking RJ. Will informs her he's leaving and turns to go. When Lee notices Finn pacing his office, she inquires as to what is upsetting him. You first, he says. She sighs because she has to break bad news to a patient today. Finn must break the dreadful news to his wife. Lee finds out that Sheila wants to be involved in Finn's life and that she visited him earlier. Lee implores her son to refrain from doing anything that could harm his marriage. He claims that because Sheila chose to take the high road with the divorce papers, he can't help but feel sorry for her. The door is knocked on. On their way to Dee's appointment, Steffi and Daphne are stopping by to see Finn. Finn had to go after hobnobbing for a little while. Lee tells Daphne that she is seeing her since her physician had to return home. They can talk freely in front of Steffi, Daphne tells her. Daphne, I'm so sorry, Lee sighs. I must break some awful news to you. Daphne rejects Lee's attempts to convince her to sit. She's just curious. Lee informs her that she is going through an early menopause. That can't be right, stammers Steffi. Daphne is certain that stress is the only cause of her ailments. According to Lee, infertility results from this syndrome, which occurs when the ovaries quit functioning too soon. Tell me I can conceive, protests Daphne. Let me have a child, please. Lee gives a headshake. RJ continues to gripe about Will's treatment of Elektra in the design office. He lists all of his wrongdoings, beginning with failing to expel Dylan. His father was correct. Spencers and Forresters don't get along. Will is taken aback when Dylan arrives at the beach house. He assumed she was at work. She was sorry for him. She's interested in hearing his version of events. She understands the unfeasible situation he was placed in, and Will shrugs. Elektra might have overreacted. Dylan approaches him and puts her arms around him while describing how she differs from Elektra. She would never abandon him in order to keep his family safe. One of B&B's greatest rivalries is that between Bill and Ridge. The two men frequently got into intense arguments, whether it was about business or Brooke. Now that Bill and Katie's startup, Logan, has electrified the fashion industry, their rivalry has rekindled. The Forresters became enraged with the pair for stealing Hope from FC and exploiting Eric's plans. Everyone has been impacted by the Forrester-Logan dispute, including Will, Crew Morrow, and RJ. Will attacked his cousin when RJ unexpectedly showed up at the beach house to rescue Elektra, Linnea Grace. Ridge became enraged over Will's attack and confronted Will's father, Bill. The conflict between Bill and Ridge was tense, as was to be expected. Bill couldn't help but laugh and dismiss the Forrester. The designer became enraged and decked Bill when he made a remark about RJ being a mini Ridge. Bill appeared pleased with the punch rather than furious or offended. Bill grinned and declared with pride, "Got him," after being struck. It appeared that Bill had achieved his goal of getting Ridge to attack him. Maybe Bill intended to show that Ridge, not his son, was the true hothead. Ridge said that Will is dangerous and has a rage after Will attacked RJ. However, Ridge's attack on Bill demonstrated that he is the one who poses a serious threat and has a fiery temper. Ridge may now have to deal with the fallout from his deeds. Bill may have a strategy for the dressmaker because he claimed to be 10 steps ahead of the Forresters. Supporters have conjectured that Bill may have surreptitiously recorded the fight and will utilize it in his conflict with the Forresters. Bill may threaten to call the police if Ridge and RJ don't leave Will alone, using the video as blackmail. Bill might also threaten to make the video public. The Forresters may be at Bill's mercy to defend Ridge and their business since they are unable to endure any negative publicity or further setbacks.